Marc Thomas. Since Positive Human is all about breaking the acquisition addiction and fixing missed lifecycle gaps, I want to keep this ultra tailored to you. Here are 2 prompts that I'd love for you to answer. Cool?
Mm-hmm. Hit me.
Marc, most SaaS companies are addicted to acquisition while ignoring money sitting right in their database. What are the biggest money moments missing in most onboarding or upgrade paths? And how do you plug them?
Well, you mentioned onboarding there. Like everyone thinks, hey, I've got an onboarding sequence sorted out. But a lot of the time when you make an onboarding sequence, you make it a couple of emails and then up until the end of a free trial or something like that. Here's what I think most people get wrong, which is that after the free trial is ended, that's often when a lot of people end up converting. But many software companies will never even email those people after. So what I always do as a rule of thumb is say, if you've got a free trial at 7 days, you should be emailing for 14 days. Because in the day 9, day 10, day 14, people go, hey, I meant to upgrade that product or whatever. I liked it. And then they come back. And that's when a lot of conversions happen. So I think that's a kind of key money moment that a lot of people miss out.
When the trial ends, I guess a lot of companies are like, all right, they're not interested, or they'd rather focus on people that are actively using it. And that's where they're going to focus all their efforts, not the people that were already there and a week later. Because I know if I use a product for 7 days and it ends, I'm going to probably not convert immediately, but I need to be reminded of that thing because I'm probably trying a couple at the same time.
Yeah. And depending on your model as well, like you might see a conversion rate of 2 to 5% in an onboarding flow. Now, like that's 2 to 5 out of every 100 people. And so if you can get that to 10%, that makes a huge difference to your revenue over time. And a lot of that 5% extra or 8% extra are going to convert after the fact and maybe even months afterwards, but they take the trial and then there's a buying cycle and stuff that they go through. So you just got to keep emailing them. And that's, yeah.
You say this months down the cycle thing. Do you think it's good practice to even email, if it's 7 days, email for 14 and then take a little bit of a break and come back a month later?
You want to do an expired trial reactivation if you've got a trial model and get those people back in. If you maybe just email people once a week in perpetuity until they say stop or they buy from you, what's that really going to lose you other than the fact that you're having to stay in front of them? You take a little bit of effort. You send them an email on a Monday morning that just says, here's an interesting way to use this, or here's a way that someone else is using this, or here's a feature we just launched, or
exactly. Bring value, ideas. Not just, hey, are you still interested? And
those kinds of emails, they really, really work. You send those out reliably on a regular rhythm, you'll convert a couple of people every time. And it's not the kind of result that anyone reports, but you do that 52 weeks of the year, and suddenly your revenue is growing a lot faster than it was.
It's interesting because customer success sends those types of things out to people like, hey, this is a new way to use the product. I think those types of things can be repurposed for the people for an expired trial reactivation. I think that's a really good insight. Thank you so much, Marc. The next prompt is an insight spotlight that I'd love for you to answer for me. So your data shows SaaS conversions are 5 to 10% lower in the UK than in North America. Why is the UK market such a different ballgame, and how should companies adjust their CAC and messaging to win there?
Americans like to buy and spend money a lot faster than people in the UK. And hey, I don't have the data for this, but I bet Germany and France, which are also kind of tier 1 markets for a lot of people, those are probably even slower. The reality is Europeans spend money a lot slower than North Americans. And if you are going through a sales process or if you're going through, it doesn't matter whether you're doing paid acquisition or whatever it is, the reality is you got to factor that in. And if you want to be selling to the UK, you've got to realize we've got a heap of regulation to go through. And that happens at not just a national level, but also a company level. There's always procurement and all that kind of stuff. And we just tend to move a lot slower on things. You know,
there's a lot of red tape.
It's one of the great things, but also the terrible things. It depends on which side of the deal you're on. The reality is you just got to adjust your acquisition model and ask yourself, if you only had to focus on one thing, what would it be? And the answer is you'd be selling to the US or Canada. And those are bigger markets anyway, and they move faster and they have a higher willingness to pay in my experience.
Awesome. I mean, not awesome. Awesome depending on what side you're on. Not awesome if you're on the I need to hit quota or I need to keep my company afloat side. But it is what it is.
If you're on the UK sales team, you're out of luck.
Yeah, but if you draw that straw, you're like,
negotiate a much higher bonus.
For the people or the customers or the companies that you have worked with or you're currently working with, who is one that more people should know about? Maybe they have a really cool product, or maybe they're taking your tactics and really using them to some great success. Who do you think we should know?
I still work with a company called Rosie. Rosie makes a AI phone answering service for small businesses in the US. They are absolutely crushing it. And some of the things that they're doing are my things. Some of the things that they're doing are very much their own things. And that's great to see. They treat B2B marketing like B2C marketing. They know that a small business buyer is not the same as a FTSE 100 or whatever company. And ultimately,
it's much closer to B2C.
Yeah, that's right. So we did things like we built a personality quiz for a phone personality quiz, and we put it on their homepage, and that thing converted like crazy. I thought when they proposed it, I thought, hey, I'm not sure like this is going to work. And then we did it, and the results were great. And it ran for like months and months on end before we retired it. And the cool thing about that, it was collecting, because they were driving so much paid media to the homepage where this thing was, anyone who wasn't ready to convert to an actual paid plan, they converted to this personality quiz instead. So we de-anonymized a heap of paid traffic, which cut their acquisition cost as well. And then we were able to market to them via email for a long time, and those things pay off.
That is fantastic. Really, really, really good. I'm looking at the website right now. This would be a good one to add on there. And they're based out of the US, 412.
Chicago, normally, but
cool.
I think they're all over the place. So, yeah.
I see that. I don't even know what 412 is. I'm getting my numbers messed up. I'm getting old. Mark, last one here that I have for you. Where do you hang out? What are some of the communities that you are a part of? And of those communities, who do you think really influences the work that you're doing out here?
I'm a part of 3 communities. The first one is All In, which is Brandon Hufford's community. It's for people who are in-house marketers. I'm no longer in-house, but they let me stay.
They didn't kick you out.
No, I just provide so much value, Brian. It's a great community, loads of different people doing different things, and you learn a heap. The other one is Camp Solo. That's for solo consultants. I really like that. Lots of people on the same journey as me. And then the final one is I'm part of the Tiny Seed community. Tiny Seed's like a small fund for mostly bootstrap businesses, and I'm one of the mentors on there, and I also take part in their SaaS Institute program, which it's like a kind of a coaching program for larger SaaS companies who've gone through that bootstrap journey. Yeah, really cool to see what they're doing as well.
Mark, this was brief, but always a pleasure to see you. You are one of my favorite people out on the LinkedIn internet. I hope to continue this conversation when it's just you and me and don't have to record each other.
Very nice. Yeah. Thanks for having me.